power ranking time. Time to piss off people's fan bases because a random stranger on the internet doesn't think your team is as good as you do. As always, I'm starting with the first two out. We're starting with the Steelers. They are still the 5 seed, and I still believe in Mike Tomlin, but I don't believe in Mitch Trubisky. You can't make me. I never have, and I never will. As much as I had my doubts about Kenny Pickett, I knew for damn sure he was better than Mitch Trubisky. And it looks like he's going to miss multiple weeks. So hopefully they could win 2 of their next couple games so they don't fall out the playoffs completely. But do they get to 10 wins with Mitch at quarterback? I can't see it. Next is the Jaguars. Not only did you just let Jake Browning go out there and look like Joe Burrow, Christian Kirk is gone for the season, and Trevor Lawrence, it went from he broke his ankle to maybe it's his Achilles to, oh, it's just a high ankle sprain. Something don't smell right there. I'm not accusing nobody of lying, but I'm just not buying the next week isn't in doubt yet. Yes, it is. We will not be seeing Trevor Lawrence next Sunday, and we might not see him the next couple of Sundays. High ankle sprains can take up to 6 weeks to heal. And if you remember the Saints game, he was out there with a brace on his knee looking like a transformer. So he's already had lower leg injuries already. So if he does come back, how much of Trevor Lawrence are we actually going to get? Again, y'all just better hope CJ Beathard can get you 1 or 2 more wins so you can hang on to a wild card spot. Other than that, the Texans are coming for that division and you just got to hold on to it. All right, future Kevin that's editing this. Let me get my graphic. Thank you, sir. Number 10, I got the Indianapolis Colts. Guys, I don't know how the Colts keep winning games. I looked everywhere. I looked for breakdowns. I'm not even an analytics guy. I looked at DVOA and the EPA per play. None of it makes sense. We don't know how this is happening. Jonathan Taylor's out. Zach Moss isn't lighting up the world like he was earlier in the season. Gardner Minshew didn't change his life and is now magically an efficient quarterback. No, he's still trying to lose that game at every chance he get. But somehow they keep winning. I don't know how it keeps happening. But they're in the playoffs still. And now that Trevor Lawrence might miss the rest of the season, they have a chance to win that division now. Because of course. But in the interest of fairness, every other time that we see a team that we don't know how they're winning, but they keep winning, we give credit to the head coach. So shout out to Shane Steichen, rookie head coach. I don't know how you're doing it, but you're doing it. Shout out to you. Speaking of head coaches, at number 9, I got the Green Bay Packers. And y'all let Aaron Rodgers' grumpy ass convince you that Matt LaFleur cannot coach. And now look at him. Jordan Love looks pretty developed now, don't he? And everyone's acting all shocked that he looks better now than he did week 1 or 2, as if the magic revelation that the more a quarterback plays and has a coach that'll actually guide him through the process, he'll look better over time. I know, right? And I'm not going to do the whole Jordan Love looks like Aaron Rodgers thing that Chris Collinsworth just couldn't help himself from doing it. God bless Collinsworth. I'm a fan of Collinsworth, unlike most of NFL Twitter, but he just couldn't help himself from the Aaron Rodgers comparisons. What he does look like is a kid with insane arm talent that watched Aaron Rodgers for 3 years and watched him say numerous times, hey man, just let it go. Fuck it. Just throw it. You can do it. Just do it. And now we have the balance between the fuck it, just do it, and a little bit more of that Matt LaFleur efficiency. He has not thrown an interception in 3 weeks. He threw 10 in all the weeks before that. And the rest of their season doesn't look like it's going to get much harder. In order, they have the Giants, the Buccaneers, the Panthers, the Vikings, and the Bears. They might not lose another game for the rest of the season. And when it gets to the playoffs, they might be running into team number 8, the Detroit Lions. Has a team ever screamed first round exit louder than the current Detroit Lions? You follow up the loss to the Packers on Thanksgiving with opening up a 21-point lead on the Saints. Everyone's like, all right, anomaly on Thanksgiving. The Lions are contenders. They're back. Oh, no, they're not. They did everything in their power from that point on to lose the game. From 21-0, the Saints got it up to 21-27 at one point. But then, the Saints, they're not on this list for a reason. But, oh, boy, the Lions. Man. In theory, they should be on the same tier as the 49ers and the Cowboys because they all have the same record, but we all have eyes, and we all know that's not how that worked out. At number 7, we got the Houston Texans. Love to see that win that they got against the Broncos. Really needed, because if they do end up fighting for a wild card spot instead of winning the AFC South, the Broncos are also going to be fighting for that spot, and not having a tiebreaker over them would have been detrimental. We've covered the superstardom of CJ Stroud almost ad nauseum at this point. Not that I'll ever get tired of covering CJ Stroud, black quarterback solidarity and all that there, but we got to give some love to Derek Stingley Jr. They were trying to bury that man after last year because Lovie Smith had the best man-to-man corner prospect to ever get drafted playing cover 2. In layman's terms, they had him running the wrong thing. It was bad. It was all bad. Magically, now you got DeMeco Ryans in there. He looks like he was supposed to be the number 3 pick again. Funny how that works. Number 6, I got the Miami Dolphins. An absolute head kicking of the Washington Commanders. The defense is coming along more and more. Jalen Phillips goes down, and his backup comes in and starts getting some sacks. Now, sacking Sam Howell isn't that much of an accomplishment, but still, you got to give credit where credit's due. Tyreek Hill is borderline guaranteed to cross 2,000 yards at this point, which is nuts to say. Before the season, we heard him say it on his podcast. We're like, all right, we've heard players say wilder statements on podcasts. We kind of let it go. But oh no, here he is. He's actually about to do it. Tua has continued to stay upright. Before the season, I always said, I'm not going to take them seriously until we get to like week 14 and Tua's still upright. Well, it's week 14. Tua hasn't missed a snap. And this offense is near the top or at the very top of pretty much every statistic. So if they could beat a team that we consider good in the slightest, it is time to start taking the Dolphins seriously. At number 5, we got the Kansas City Chiefs. I've been looking for an excuse to drop the Chiefs, and I'm very happy the Packers gave me a reason to. The Chiefs' surrounding offense around Patrick Mahomes is awful. If you double team Kelsey, who he isn't even as good as he used to be. I don't care what the numbers say, we have eyes. You double team Kelsey, they don't have any other receiver that could lead them and win one-on-one. Isaiah Pacheco is nice. He is not a running back one that you'll be able to say, all right, we're all going on his back and we're going to win this game because of him. And the defense that's been keeping them afloat all this time, they're down to like their 3rd or 4th string inside linebacker, so they can't even make the same calls that they used to make. Their communication's off, so Steve Spagnuolo can't even make his exotic blitzes. This could get very bad in Kansas City very quickly. I'm genuinely concerned for them from that Buffalo Bills game they got coming up. And we all thought the Bills were left for dead not too long ago. Before I move on from the Chiefs, quick point for all y'all that don't understand context. There's a contingency of you that are upset that we keep mentioning Mahomes' lack of weapons, and you call it excuses saying, oh, but when my quarterback, we say they don't have weapons. You guys didn't say that and blah, blah, blah. Yes, we're giving the 2-time Super Bowl champion and 2-time MVP, one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever live already. We're going to give them more leeway than whoever your quarterback is that has accomplished none of those things. Because unless you're talking about Matt Stafford or Aaron Rodgers, whatever quarterback you're talking about has not won a Super Bowl. And unless you're talking about Lamar Jackson or Aaron Rodgers, whatever quarterback you're talking about hasn't won an MVP. So yeah, we're going to give Patrick Mahomes some leeway. Anyways, team number 4, the Dallas Cowboys. We've given a lot of attention to Dak Prescott and what happens when he plays against a good team, when we should have been paying attention to this defense the whole time, who got sliced and diced by Geno Smith. Luckily for them, our guy Dakota showed up to the stadium with a fork, knife, and spoon himself and was ready to feast that day. God forbid that y'all give Dak Prescott credit for any goddamn thing, but I'm here to do so today. The Dallas Cowboys have the highest scoring offense in the league right now. Not by average, by most points. They have scored 388 points throughout the season. That is more than the Dolphins, who are considered the greatest show on turf. Say what you want, they beating up on bad teams, blah, blah, blah. We're giving Dallas some goddamn credit if they beat the Eagles. Speaking of the Eagles, at number 3, I got the Eagles. This is as far as I could drop them after they lost, but oh boy, did they get that ass whooped. Whoo, whoo. Woo, woo. There's no way around that one. And it's funny how losing brings the bitch out of a fan base. And I love Eagles fans. They're one of my favorite fan bases in the league. But man, all season long, all these other teams were complaining to y'all every time y'all won. And y'all were like, nah, don't make excuses. We're winning on the field. Y'all lose to the Niners and it's every excuse in the book. God damn, guys. The Niners were dreaming of that day at Lincoln Financial since January. And it was just one of those games where, hey man, y'all just weren't going to win. Clearly, that just was not your day. If you take care of business for the rest of the season, y'all will have a chance to run it back. And because you still have a game up on the Niners, if you manage to win out the rest of the season, it might even be back in Lincoln Financial. But the season isn't over. You only have 2 losses. You'll be fine. And lucky for you, you're not going to see an offense like the Niners until, Dallas, highest scoring offense. Well, try to take care of business on Sunday Night Football, because if you lose to Dallas, you go from number 1 seed to 5th seed, just like that. Number 2, I got the Baltimore Ravens. What a great bye week for the Ravens. It could not have gone better. Every team in your division, except for the one that cannot win that division, lost this week. 2 of the teams who were fighting for the 1 seed lost this week, and one of those teams also lost their starting quarterback. What a great bye week. However, every AFC North quarterback not named Lamar Jackson is now injured. And Lamar's been injured these past 2 years at the end of the season. So go ahead and wrap him up and bubble wrap in between games. Don't even make him practice. Someone carry him throughout the facility. Don't make him walk. Nothing until game day, because keep him healthy, and then you'll have a chance. All right, number one, at absolutely no surprise to nobody, the 49ers, dear God. The last question from the NFL questions was, are they the juggernaut of the NFC? You missed the letter, NFL, because the best of the Niners is better than the best of everyone else that we've seen so far. It's one thing to beat very good teams. It is another thing to put up 42 on the Eagles and the Cowboys, put up a 30-piece on the Seahawks, and beat the Jaguars 34-3. They have yet to lose a game where Trent Williams and Deebo Samuel start and complete the game. Outside of the Ravens game, the rest of their schedule, I don't know who beats them. And getting home field advantage in the NFC, it's not one of those situations where, oh my God, I don't want to play in Levi Stadium because it's so scary. But it's the fact that every other team is going to have to travel across the country to come play you in the playoffs if the rest of the season goes the way it should. Not to mention, their last road game for the entire season, the only road game they have left, is against the Washington Commanders, who are dead on arrival and are just waiting to fire their lame duck coach and probably everyone else in the organization, including the people who valet cars. Just what a team, what a season. Wow.